Hyperreality is everywhere, shaping our world in ways we can't even see, blurring the lines between what's real and what's fabricated. From the seductive pull of social media to the endless consumer choices shaped by capitalism, our reality is constantly being manipulated. What if everything you see, touch, and desire is no longer a reflection of reality, but an illusion, a manufactured world created to keep you distracted and compliant? In this video, we will unravel how capitalism exploits hyperreality, brainwashing us into accepting false truths, desires, and needs. We will break down the mechanisms behind this invisible manipulation. The concept of hyperreality was made famous by the French philosopher Jean Baudrillard. According to Baudrillard, in today's world, the line between reality and simulation has collapsed. We live in a media saturated society where simulations and representations have become more real than reality itself. This is what creates hyperreality, a state where the boundary between what is real and what is fiction becomes so blurred that we struggle to distinguish between the two. Baudrillard outlines four stages in the transition from reality to hyperreality. At the first stage, a sign or image is a faithful copy of something real. It reflects reality accurately. At the second stage, the sign begins to distort reality. It still references something real, but it is exaggerated or twisted. At the third stage, the sign stands in for something that doesn't actually exist. Finally, at the fourth stage, the sign or image has no relation to reality whatsoever. It exists entirely on its own as a copy without an original. This final stage is where simulacra are born, representations that no longer reference anything real. Baudrillard argues that in the postmodern world, we are surrounded by these simulacra where simulations don't point to any kind of external reality. Example of hyperreality. Think about heroes. If you ask a kid today who a hero is, they are more likely to name a Marvel or DC character like Batman or Superman rather than the real world heroes like medics, researchers, scientists, or the armed forces. The idea of a hero has been so heavily mediated and represented through comic books, films, and TV shows. These fictional heroes feel more real or significant than the actual heroes working in our society. So this illustrates Baudrillard's idea of hyperreality. Fictional representations have become more powerful and relatable than real life figures. Going back to the last stage of hyperreality, once an image becomes a simulacra, these signs become open to reinterpretation. You can assign any values or meanings to these images, which is a concept explored by Guy Debord in his book Society of the Spectacle. In the Society of the Spectacle, Guy Debord argues that modern life has shifted from direct experiences to representation of experiences, which he refers to as spectacles. According to Guy Debord, the spectacle serves as a tool for those in power within capitalist societies, allowing them to assign value to images and representations. Debord examined the spectacle within the context of capitalist society, highlighting how media and consumer culture create a reality dominated by images and representations. The spectacle replaces genuine experiences with representations, leading to a passive, consumption oriented society. The spectacle becomes a means of control, shaping our perceptions, desires, and beliefs. It creates a reality where images and representations are more significant than the realities they are supposed to depict. Essentially, it's about maintaining control over society through these manipulated images. Guy Debord also introduces the concept of commodity fetishism, where social relationships between individuals are expressed through relationships between commodities. For example, consider the iPhone craze. The value of an iPhone is not solely based on its functionality, but also on its representation as a status symbol and a lifestyle choice. This emphasis on representation over utility contributes to the spectacle. Hyperreality and the spectacle of society are closely related concepts, particularly in how they shape our perceptions of reality. The process of assigning value to simulacra can be seen as a part of the spectacle. In this context, the spectacle serves as an overarching system through which meaning and significance are infused into simulacra, often serving the interest of those in power. As a result, our perceptions, desires, and beliefs are heavily influenced by this spectacle driven hyperreality. Examples of the spectacle. Guy Debord views Disneyland as a prime example of the spectacle. The park represents a commodified version of fantasy that distracts and entertains while promoting consumer culture. Disneyland encapsulates the spectacle by offering a carefully curated version of reality consumed passively by visitors, reinforcing the dominance of images over authentic experiences. Another everyday example is Instagram, which serves as a prime example of a platform focused on images, where users curate their lives to showcase an idealized version of reality. This creates a spectacle that blurs the line between authentic life and performance. One significant aspect of this spectacle is the influence on beauty standards among women. Through curated content, advertising, and celebrity culture, Instagram promotes unattainable images of perfection, leading to a hyperreality where these artificial standards are accepted as norms. This impacts self image and drives consumer behavior as individuals strive to align with these hyperreal ideals. George Orwell's 1984 illustrates how the concepts of simulacra and spectacle function as powerful tools for a totalitarian surveillance state to control the masses. In 1984, the party manipulates reality through altering past events to fit party narrative, changing information to maintain control, using newspeak to limit thoughts and ideas. This simulation of reality or simulacrum becomes the only reality that people know, serving the interest of the ruling regime. The spectacle is evident in how the party employs constant propaganda, flooding citizens with party reinforcing messages, omnipresent symbols like Big Brother, reminding of surveillance and control, orchestrated public events designed to instill fear and submission. Ultimately, the spectacle distracts citizens from questioning their reality while shaping their perceptions of truth, similar to today's media saturated society. Surveillance capitalism refers to the economic model where companies collect massive amount of personal data to predict and shape behavior for profit. Think of Google, Facebook, or Amazon. Now, they aren't just offering services, they are extracting behavioral data, your clicks, searches, purchases, etc., to sell targeted ads and influence future behavior. In this model, the users are both the product and the subject of manipulation, often without their full awareness. In surveillance capitalism, the manipulation of perception goes beyond merely presenting what users want. It subtly influences their decisions. Companies not only predict behavior but also nudge users toward specific actions, buying products, consuming certain media, or adopting particular political views. This combination of big data and hyperreality blurs the line between genuine preferences and those shaped by external forces. In simpler terms, surveillance capitalism is where personal data is harvested for profit, shaping our realities in the process. Gamified hyperreality adds another layer to manipulation. By incorporating game like elements such as points, rewards, and competition, social media platforms boost user engagement and make it increasingly difficult to resist. The mechanisms of gamification exploit our inherent desire for achievement and recognition. When users receive immediate feedback for their efforts, it reinforces their behaviors, drawing them deeper into the hyperreal experience. Example of impact. A recent research study indicated that Generation Z, the most connected generation, is also the most anxious and more likely to get depressed. This trend is likely tied to the rise of social media and the modeling of hyperreality, which includes unrealistic beauty standards and lifestyle portrayals. Hyperreality from a psychological perspective. As humans, we learn through various methods, and one of the most prominent and primal ways of learning is through imitation. This is also why I believe the rise of hyperreality can be detrimental. Social learning theory infers that individuals learn behaviors by observing and imitating others. In a media saturated society, children may emulate fictional characters such as superheroes, prioritizing their attributes over those of real life role models. This imitation can shape social norms and individual identities, leading to a disconnect between real life experiences and hyperreal representations. Hyperreality can be more appealing and addictive than genuine experiences due to its stimulation of the brain's reward systems. Experiences like video games, social media, and immersive virtual realities can provide heightened stimulation that feel more rewarding than everyday life. This addiction has significant implications for mental health and social interactions. The role of AI in hyperreality. With the rise of AI, hyperreality has become even more pervasive. AI algorithms curate social media feeds and personalize advertisements, shaping users' realities often without their awareness. In a sense, AI acts as the architect of hyperreality, continuously presenting a version of the world that aligns with users' preference yet remains detached from authenticity. This results in a more efficient spectacle that adapts to user responses, sustaining and amplifying hyperreal experiences. The users may become trapped in echo chambers, leading to heightened consumerism and political manipulation, often without realizing the extent of AI's influence. The fetish for commodities deepens as AI identifies which images and experiences trigger desires, reinforcing the need to consume and blurring the lines between real needs and manufactured desires. Resistance to hyperreality. The seduction of hyperreality can be subtle and pervasive, blurring lines between reality and fabrication. Unlike direct coercion, this manipulation gradually draws individuals in, making it challenging to recognize the extent of its influence. The manipulation often masquerades as entertainment or inspiration, making it easy to overlook its negative impacts until they lead to anxiety or dissatisfaction. Now, steps towards resistance, awareness, recognizing how algorithms shape experiences is crucial. Breaking free from these influences requires active engagement and a re-evaluation of personal values and priorities. Developing a mindful approach to media consumption can help individuals discern between authentic experiences and hyperreal representations. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on future content. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. Don't forget to check out my other videos, and I will see you in the next one.